UN Sanctions. This is the most significant and powerful international watch list. The United Nations Security Council has the authority to impose legally binding sanctions on individuals and entities associated with threats to international peace and security. The consolidated list includes every person and entity designated under any UN Security Council sanctions regime, from terrorism to nuclear proliferation, armed conflict, and other threats to international peace and security. All UN member states are legally obligated to apply the specific measures attached to each listed name, usually asset freezes, travel bans, or arms embargoes, but the exact restrictions differ by sanctions regime. INTERPOL Red Notice. A red notice is a global alert issued by Interpol to law enforcement worldwide, requesting the location and provisional arrest of a wanted person. It is not an international arrest warrant, but it functions as a global tripwire for fugitives, broadcast to police in Interpol's 196 member countries. While it is the most famous, Interpol also issues other color-coded notices for different international policing functions, such as blue notices to gather information on a person of interest, or yellow notices for missing persons. EU Sanctions. This is the European Union's primary sanctions watch list. Similar to the UN list, it contains the names of all individuals and entities subject to EU financial sanctions. These can be persons linked to terrorism, the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, or those responsible for human rights abuses. The list is legally binding across all 27 EU member states, requiring all banks and businesses within the EU to freeze the assets of and prohibit any financial transactions with the designated parties. EU Terrorist List. While the EU has a broad sanctions regime, it also maintains a specific and separate watch list for individuals, groups, and entities involved in terrorist acts. Created in the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks, this list is a key part of the Union's common foreign and security policy. A designation on this list triggers not only the freezing of all financial assets across the EU, but also mandates enhanced police and judicial cooperation among member states regarding the listed persons or groups. UK Sanctions. Following its departure from the EU, the United Kingdom now operates its own independent sanctions regime. The UK Sanctions List names the individuals and entities that are subject to asset freezes and other financial restrictions under British law. Due to London's status as a major global financial center, being placed on the UK's list has a significant international impact, affecting access to banking, property ownership, and other financial services far beyond the UK's borders. OFAC SDN. While technically a US national list, the Specially Designated Nationals and Blocked Persons List, or SDN list, functions as one of the most powerful global watch lists in existence. Maintained by the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, it names terrorists, narcotics traffickers, oligarchs, and agents of sanctioned regimes. Because most of the world's financial transactions are cleared in US dollars, foreign banks that deal with anyone on the SDN list risk being cut off from the dollar system, giving the list a powerful global effect. U.S. Entity List. Distinct from the Treasury's financial sanctions, these lists are a primary tool of economic warfare designed to control the flow of technology. The most prominent of these is the Entity List, which names foreign companies and individuals that pose a national security risk to the United States. U.S. firms are prohibited from exporting or transferring sensitive American technology to anyone on this list without a special license. It is a powerful weapon used to slow the technological and military development of strategic adversaries. FATF Black and Gray. The Financial Action Task Force, or FATF, is a global intergovernmental body that sets international standards to combat money laundering and terrorism financing. It does not sanction individuals, but it names and shames entire countries. The blacklist identifies countries with severe strategic deficiencies in their anti-money laundering frameworks, effectively warning the global financial system to avoid doing business with them. The gray list identifies countries that are actively working with the FATF to address their deficiencies. World Bank Debarred. This is the World Bank's debarment watch list. It contains the names of all companies and individuals who have been declared ineligible to participate in any World Bank-financed projects. A company is placed on this list if it has been found to have engaged in fraud or corruption in connection with a World Bank project. This debarment is often cross-enforced by other major international development banks, effectively cutting a corrupt firm off from a huge portion of global development funding. Magnitsky Sanctions. While originating in the United States, the Magnitsky model has become a major international tool. A Magnitsky-style sanctions list does not target an entire country, but rather specific individuals responsible for gross human rights violations or significant corruption, regardless of their location. The original U.S. Global Magnitsky Act has inspired similar laws and sanctions lists in the United Kingdom, the European Union, and Canada, creating a new, coordinated international framework for holding individual human rights abusers accountable by freezing their assets and banning their travel. Thanks for watching. Which of these global watch lists do you think has the most power today? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please also remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.